Paro, can you hear me? Lighthouse Ministries in Paro, hello? I'll turn the screen share back on, but when you're ready to talk, just talk. Oh, oopsie. Hello, Lighthouse Ministries.
Hi.
In Paro.
I can see.
Okay, I open it now. Yeah, okay.
Hi.
Camera's trying, but I can't quite see you yet.
Can anyone?
You should be able to see us.
I can see you. Hello.
Like go from this. Okay. As mens wil praat aan mute wees, né?
Is gaan doen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hi Megan.
Hi, are you Emma?
Yes, it's me, Emma.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. How are you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
Hungry.
Who's the man in the back?
Sorry?
Who's the man at the back?
Oh, that's Pastor Johan.
Hello?
Pastor Johan. He's the pastor at the
One of the mentors.
One of the mentor teachers.
Okay. Good to see you. I'm glad we finally get to meet, Emma.
Yes, me too. I'm glad I get to make a tutorial at 6 o'clock.
Yay! You're the only one so far, so we'll have to see if anyone else hit to
Wow, okay.
But we can chat until then.
Awesome. Where do you live, Megan?
In the southern suburbs in Bergfleet,
Oh, yes.
and you're in the northern suburbs.
Yes, I'm here in the northern suburbs, in Paro.
Okay. Yay! Do you like it?
Do I like living here?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm living with my mom again for the moment. Yeah, I love it, but I'm also like I've got a travel bug. I don't want to stay here for too long.
Okay.
Maybe one more year tops, and then I'd really like to move on to a new area.
Okay. Would you move somewhere within Cape Town or somewhere the rest of South Africa or overseas?
Anywhere, actually. Anywhere where I get a good job.
Okay.
I'm open to
Different. That's cool.
Yeah. And you said you're doing your master's, right?
Yeah. So I'm doing it through an American university. And the stream I'm doing is it's a master's in education, but the stream I'm doing is curriculum and instruction. So it's not for any one grade or any one subject. It's just to be a better teacher in general. But I'm thinking I'll probably go into curriculum design.
Oh, that's
Or
awesome.
or designing online courses, because I really enjoyed the process of designing this one. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's very well organized.
thank you.
That's what I love about it. Like everything's nice and neat and easy to get to and pretty laid out straight. a
I'm
good job.
glad. Thank you. What's your course load like?
It's a lot. It's 9 subjects. It was 9 subjects last semester, and now it's 10.
Wow.
And I'm working, but but luckily I'm only working in the afternoons. I'm all period in the afternoon. So I've got the mornings free and the evenings, and it works out well so far, by the grace of God. But yeah, it's good. It's something I wanted to do. So it's going okay.
Okay.
Do you have a lot of work for your masters, or is it manageable while you're doing the biology course for Cornerstone?
It's intended to be part-time. So I'm in a class of 15 people, and the others are all working full-time. I'm not working full-time on top of this. I'm just doing the human biology and tutoring a bit and teaching a few classes, dancing classes. But so it feels manageable because I'm not working full-time. So I feel very lucky.
Yes.
It's not as crazy as some people experience.
Sure.
So it's fine.
Did you say you do dance classes?
Excuse me?
Did you say you do dance classes?
Yes, I do. I've got one tonight.
Oh, cool. What kind of dancing?
It's ballroom and Latin, social ballroom and Latin.
Oh, cool. I love dancing.
Are you dancing any at the moment?
Yeah, I did dancing on and off through high school. And at the moment I'm just doing dance classes at the gym, so I'm not really doing dance. But I am taking Pilates at this lady she's like a dancer. And every Pilates move that she does is like, it's like a ballet pose. It's so good for your body. I feel worked when I step out of that class. But I'm very unfit in a dance kind of way. I'm very unfit, so it's a bit embarrassing.
I also love Pilates. I was also at a Pilates class today, so we have a lot in common.
It seems like that. Yeah, Pilates is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about your experience with the human biology. How's that been going?
My experience so far has been good. Like the new semester's been good so far. We're done with the blood unit right now. Right, that's right. Yeah. Blood was difficult. It's not as straightforward as I thought it was. A lot of new terminology, and I don't think we definitely didn't do blood when we were in high school. So I think all the units from last semester, I did that in high school, so it was like a refresher to do it, and then obviously just to learn the names in English. But yeah, blood is interesting and quite there's a lot of new words.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying you were worried about being squeamish. Did that have any effect?
No, I just watched one video that kind of illustrated drawing blood, and I found myself rocking to and fro. But it passed. It was fine. But seriously, I'm very squeamish. When I was a teacher in Korea, you have to go for a health check once a year. It's mandatory. And they would do everything and obviously draw blood. And each time I went, I would faint.
Oh no.
I figured out I wouldn't faint if I lay down while they were drawing my blood, but if I sat up and they drew my blood while I was sitting, I would just pass out. And of course, their English isn't very good, or they can't speak any English. And my medical knowledge in Korean is it doesn't exist. So it would be very difficult to try and explain to them, please can I lie down? And then you can take my blood. Yeah.
Wow. But you were okay. You were mostly okay in the unit, the blood unit. That's.
It was after reading through everything a couple of times. It sticks.
Okay. Just a thought about you, you being squeamish. I haven't told the other classmates yet, but I've done a dissection on camera of yeah, a sheep heart and a sheep lungs.
All right, that's
fine. Yeah, so we filmed it, and I just got the links today, and it's going to fit into this unit with the heart, and then the coming unit with the respiratory system.
okay.
If you can watch it, it would be so awesome, because it was so much fun to do, and it was so interesting. But nothing's crucial. You'll survive if you don't, like, in terms of knowledge. Yeah, because I found that when you get caught up in how interesting it is, you tend to forget that it's gross. Well, that's been my experience. So it might be the same for you, and you might find that when you're actually watching it, it's not as gross as you expect.
Yeah. No, agreed. Also, I watch Grey's Anatomy. Like, I love Grey's Anatomy, so I'm sure I can watch that. It literally is just, I don't mind seeing blood, but I really don't like the idea of drawing blood.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like a section from your vein or your arm. That's great. But watching guts and gore, that's okay.
Okay. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Did you have fun doing that?
Cornerstone, at Cornerstone, there are 2 cameramen, and the one, when I just mentioned to him that I wanted to do the dissection, he got pale, and he said he can't film it. So he arranged the other guy to film it. It was so funny. And when we were doing it, there was a glass door on the studio that we were in, and there were always people peering through, like, so horrified at what we were doing. It was so funny.
My gosh, you should have cooked it up afterwards and served it to them.
Yeah. Well, instead, I took it to the butcher, and he turned it into pet mince, so I fed it to our dogs.
Exactly. Some fried sheep lung and fried sheep heart.
Yeah. So good.
Oh, lovely. Oh my gosh. How many people are taking biology this semester?
How many people are doing it with you? I think there's 5.
Okay. And we don't have Sarah as a tutor this semester, right?
Oh, it's so annoying. I wanted to write you guys an explanation. I'm just checking that there's 6, because 5 or 6, I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Yeah, I wanted to write you guys a proper explanation so that you weren't wondering where she was, and then it just didn't happen. So yeah, she in January she moved from Cape Town to Pietermaritzburg, and her husband took on the pastoral function at a church there, and she went on to staff, and so she was added on that new role, and then she was busy trying to walk her children through the transition to a new town, and then she was still busy tutoring the human biology, and she loved the human biology, so she wanted to do it, but it was just too much.
No, I understand. I thought that.
Yeah. It was just too, she had too much on her plate. So, but she was sad because she loved teaching you guys, and she loved like working with material. And I'm very sad because she was great to work with, but I think it's better.
Yes, no.
So, yeah.
It's hard when you've got so much stuff on your plate.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that she could drop and I could take up, and so I'm doing the tutoring role as well as the lecturing role, and it's totally fine. So it was the one thing she could.
It's like 6 people, so it's a little bit manageable.
Yeah. It's totally fine. I'm just looking at the questions that I prepared for the discussion and thinking about. I'm going to ask them to you, even though it's not a discussion, but because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. So I wanted to ask, tell me something that you learned from this past unit that was interesting or new for you. You mentioned that there were all the new terminology. But was there any interesting or new concepts for you?
From the blood unit.
Yeah.
Let me think of it. Because for the past 4 hours, I've just been chatting to teenagers, so I just need to rewire my brain. Let's see. Yeah, it was interesting to learn about the extra information on the immune system. That was, I can't think of specific things now, but I remember like that was quite interesting. And you know how much, how your body just constantly fights off bacteria, and it's like nonstop. That was something I hadn't really thought of before. So it was like maybe a new appreciation of my immune system, and I just started taking more vitamin C. So
I remember when I was looking at it, I was amazed at how complex it is.
Yes.
So complex, and yet it works so well. And we don't even think about it, and yet it works.
Yes.
And that's the most amazing thing.
That is amazing. God is amazing. It really is. It's very, like, it breaks my brain a little bit because
Which one?
Sorry.
Fine, go.
I'm kicking things over. Sorry. Fine, teacher. Thank you. What was I going to say now? Yeah, I read somewhere, like, you have the good bacteria in your intestines, obviously. And, like, there are bacteria in certain areas of your body, places, but then not in other places. And how your body's immune system knows which bacteria is good and which is not. Like, I don't know, it's very interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And kind of crazy.
Very cool.
I've got another question for you. Could you please pick a topic, either from this last unit or from the stuff last semester, if you want to think back that far, that you found interesting enough that you'd be interested to look into more if you had the time? I know you don't.
No, I'm just trying to, I need to really rack my brain. Okay, give me a second. I think. You know what? I can't think back too much. I remember the units from last semester. I liked hormones, like the unit on hormones. I didn't like it at first because I had to read it and reread it to get all the.
Which unit?
The unit about the hormones, the endocrine system.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I wouldn't mind like learning more about that. You know, like especially as women, we have a lot of hormones, so it's always useful. That's just
lucky is.
Like, you know, it's always.
Men has got more men.
Yeah, we've got more hormones than men. So it's always like interesting to know how those affect your, you know, like things in your body. You know.
Okay, cool. I've got another question.
Okay.
It's a simple question. Is there anything in the last unit that you didn't understand that I can help you with?
Not to my knowledge right now. No. I like that you give a lot of extra reading. It really helps. It supplements the textbook really well.
And it gives you a more complete understanding here.
Sorry?
It gives you a more complete understanding.
Yes, it does. Definitely.
Okay, cool. It's sounding good. It sounds like you've been learning stuff, which is awesome.
I did, and I'm definitely still learning stuff. Like, I love this unit. Yeah, it's very good. It's really, like, I've always loved anatomy, and I'm a huge fan of Grey's Anatomy, as I said. So it's really cool to learn more about, your body. Because, I mean, you walk around and everything. So might as well know something goes on in it.
And also, I don't know if you experienced it, but when I started learning about slightly more complex biology, I just felt so awesome that I knew all these complicated words and I knew what they meant.
Yeah. It is.
Identify, like pulmonary artery, like you're about to know what it means. Like you're about to do that in this next section, and homeostasis and hemostasis.
Yes, homeostasis has got to be the word of the first semester, I'm telling you.
Which one?
Homeostasis.
Yeah, it really comes into everything.
Yeah, it really does.
And tell me, so your first assessment's due at the end of the week, the report on the infectious diseases. How are you feeling about that?
I haven't really started on it. I've just read through the brochure, the brochure about the Canadian thing. And I'm going to start on that tomorrow, actually.
Okay. Okay, cool.
There's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, so far it seems okay. I looked through the rubric that you sent us, and that really helps, like knowing which marks are allocated for what, so that helps.
Because then you know if you do those things, you'll get the marks.
Yeah.
And you don't have to guess.
Very helpful, thank you.
Pleasure. Do you have any questions about the assignment?
No, not that I can think of. Which unit for interest, like we're talking now, which unit is your favorite? Like, what do you like to teach the most?
I really enjoy the heart, the cardiovascular system that you're about to do. Okay. I find that really interesting, and I really like doing the dissection, and I liked you'll see in the next unit, but excuse me, the labeling of the heart, it's very systematic, and I like that you can figure it out if you know the rules. You can know what things to label, and I like that. I also, when I was studying, I really enjoyed the brain. So it was nice to communicate some of that to you. Yeah, I'm trying to think last semester. Last semester, I really enjoyed teaching the chemical calculations unit.
That was fun.
Yeah, and I think I enjoyed the challenge of making something that could potentially be difficult to try and make it as easy for you guys to do as possible. And I enjoyed that challenge, so I like that unit.
Yeah, no, it was the first time in my life that I'd actually done those calculations and that I understood them, so it was fun. Because I think we flew past them in high school, like we briefly discussed some of those, and by the time we got to an in-depth kind of lesson on those calculations, I had just given up and I stopped taking whatever it was. Yeah.
Chemistry.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm glad you managed them. It's good to hear. I have one more question. Is there anything that you're finding frustrating or concerning about the module that you want to tell me about, or any ways that I can improve? Anything that you'd like to see changed?
No. No, it's fine just as it is. Okay. There's nothing that I can think of.
Okay, cool. I'll keep on giving you guys rubrics. Yeah, tell me.
Sorry, there's one thing that I noticed. You know, like last semester when you marked the tests, you could review them after they've been marked, and then you can see you can see which answers that you chose. I don't think you can do that right now. Is that how it's supposed to be?
So, do you mean like while you're busy taking the test, you can go back and try a different question again? Is that what you mean?
No, like after your test has been marked, I see now when I go onto tests and quizzes, I can go into my, I can go into the test, and I can see which answers I chose for the multiple choice, but the written answers I can't see for some reason. Maybe it's just my computer. Yeah.
That's very strict.
I mean, I'll have a look tonight. Maybe it was just like Ulla was acting up for a moment or two.
But please tell me if it's still like that, because, excuse me, the tests and quizzes like tab is new, and so all the settings are new to me, and so I might have set something wrong, and so please tell me if it doesn't work out. I just released this morning. I marked the next quiz, and there was a question that actually you got full marks for. Your answer was so perfect, but can't tell me, because then we must definitely sort that out.
All right, I'll have a look and let you know.
Yeah, and thanks for pointing that out to me, because there's another student who last quiz did something wrong, and I told him in the comments, and then this quiz he did the same thing, and so I was wondering why he did it that way, but it probably he didn't see the feedback.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I can't see any of your commentary on the quizzes, so I'll just have a look and let you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a note. So I can have a look and see if I can fix the settings. So can you see? You can see what mark you've got, and you can see the whether you got the right answers for the multiple choice questions, but not for the long answer questions.
Yes, and I think I can see the grade or the mark that I've gotten on the grade book, but I can't always see the mark that I get on the test itself. Like it would say on the, I think it's on the top right hand side. It says like the test is 19 marks or 12, but it doesn't always say how much out of 12, how much. I'll just check again. It might have been like the first test, and now I don't know.
Yeah, go check. Let me know.
I'm not exactly technical savvy, so.
Yeah. Okay, cool. If it's not sorted out, I'll sort it out, because I've got another question to ask the funder guy at Cornerstone anyway, so I could ask them both at the same time. Okay, before we finish, I've got one last thing for us to do. I'm gonna send you a link to a article.
All right.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. There you go. And would you quickly read that, and then we're gonna discuss it. It's really not very long at all, and it's linked to the next unit we're gonna do. Sort of.
Okay.
Tell me when you're done.
All right.
Or maybe type in the chat when you're done. I'm going to mute my thing. Okay. Do you have it?
All right. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
谢谢小乐，我是对。Safely.
Ja, ik denk wel. Ga je terug aan.
Ja, ik hou.
Waar dat is.
Oh, nee, iemand, ja.
Oh, dat is het.
Die meridian. How's that? Nog leaders, ja. Yes, sir. So, oh, you're ready for the okay. Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Right. Megan, can you hear me?
Oops.
Yeah.
Let me
Yes,
just
I can hear
do
you.
that. Okay.
What do you have this one?
I'll forget this with all right. Okay.
All right. Sorry, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Interesting.
Can you tell me in a sentence what the article was about? Or a sentence or two?
Yes, it's about how the temperatures around us affect our body, and it was talking about in a sentence or two.
It's fine.
Colder temperatures have an effect on. Is it right if you say the thickness of your blood? Or yeah, and yes, and warmer temperatures. It basically speaks about how cold and warm temperatures affect your body, and it listed arthritis and joint aches and migraine, stuff like that.
So the reason I picked this article was actually because of the aspect of how temperature affects the heart, because that's the section we're doing next. And I thought it was interesting to, like, we know that heart attacks happen, but it's interesting to think that maybe heart attacks happen more when it's cold. I think it's very interesting. But okay, so tell me, have a look at the article and see. See if you can find references to things that you already knew before, or things that you had been taught, like maybe last semester.
Okay. Hang on. Well, there's in the second paragraph it talks about when the temperature gets colder, your body obviously warms up. Homeostasis.
Yeah, homeostasis.
Everything homeostasis all the time.
Homeostasis.
That and let's see what else. Yeah, that's all I can figure out. I'm not exactly sure what happens, why we get joint aches when the weather gets colder. Something to do with inflammation.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why cold, damp weather is hard on the joints. I don't know that. But let's talk about the homeostasis thing. So, can you describe to me what homeostasis is happening there that they're talking about?
Temperature regulation in your body.
So what is happening?
Negative feedback. Basically, I can't remember. I can't exactly remember the words and stuff. When temperatures are very cold, your body, your temperature regulating something sensors, receptors, they realize that it's cold, and then the blood on the surface of your skin moves to all your internal organs to get those more important organs warm.
And why? They mention it in the article, but why does the blood move from the outside, like your peripheral, to your internal organs? What happens in the blood vessels that makes that happen?
Is it constriction, or is that the word?
Yeah, constriction.
Yes.
Yeah,
I guess
in the homeostasis unit, they called it vasoconstriction because vaso is to do with blood vessels. You remember?
Yes. Yes, I do remember.
Okay, so then in the next paragraph, they link the vasoconstriction to blood pressure. Can you guess why that happens?
They link the vasoconstriction to blood pressure.
Mm.
No, actually, I no. Tell me.
It's actually about as logical as you can think that it would be. If you make a pipe smaller, it makes a higher pressure. Like for example, when water's coming out of a hose pipe, if you put your thumb half across it, it makes the hole smaller, and so it makes the water come out at a higher pressure, so it shoots further.
Yes.
You picturing that?
Yes,
So now imagine if you put your thumb half across and it's shooting harder, but imagine if it couldn't leave the hose pipe. Imagine if it was still in the system. That's basically what's happening when your blood vessels constrict. They can make the blood pressure inside the blood vessels higher blood pressure.
Okay, so that's blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's
now I've learned something. Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't picture it like that.
This is just one of the ways that blood pressure could be affected. More common ways that blood pressure would be affected is by the hormones, and also by the the central nervous system. The nervous system telling your heart to beat faster, and then your heart puts out more blood, and so there's more water going down the hose pipe in a given amount of time. It's like switching on the hose pipe harder. The blood come down at higher pressure.
Interesting.
So, do you know how blood pressure? So they said the constriction of blood pressure vessels may cause blood pressure to rise and blood to thicken. Okay, I don't know why it causes blood to thicken, so I can't explain that. But increasing the risk for blood clots. Now, do you know why blood clots are bad for the heart?
Yes, because they block blood flow with oxygen, or they block blood flow to like important areas in your heart or wherever. And yes, so then you could something could burst and then you die. Like arteries can break. Yeah.
Okay, you're joining two thoughts here. You seem to be joining the idea of a stroke and a heart attack. At first you were talking about a heart attack, which is when a blood vessel to your heart muscle gets blocked, and so then the oxygenated blood can't go to the heart muscle, and then the heart muscle stops working and your heart can't pump so effectively. So that's a heart attack. But then for a sec you started talking about a stroke, which is when blood vessels in your brain burst or else get clotted, and then tissues in your brain can't get oxygenated blood, and then your brain stops working and then you die.
Both are scary.
Are you following?
Yes, both are scary.
Yes, both are bad, because you can totally die of a heart attack as well, but that would be not because the blood vessel bursts, but more because the tissues can't get oxygenated blood, and then the heart can't pump properly. So your body can't get the oxygenated blood it needs.
So the organs surrounding your heart that need the oxygenated blood start to die or start to stop working, right?
And imagine, especially your brain. Imagine if your brain doesn't get oxygenated blood, then you'd probably die quite quickly.
Yeah.
Or the hypothetical person would start to die quite quickly.
Thank you.
So, do you have a concept, you're going to learn it in the next unit, of the blood, which blood vessels we're talking about that get blocked by the blood clots? I'll tell you, it's not the blood vessels that pump blood through the heart. It's not those major blood vessels. It's actually the small blood vessels on the outside of the heart that support the heart muscle itself. And they're called coronary arteries. Coronary arteries.
All right.
So they're the ones that get blocked.
All right, coronary arteries. Okay.
Yeah. When you get to that part in the unit, it'll make more sense. Like there's flow of blood through the heart, and that's not what we're talking about gets blocked. We're talking about the vessels that support the outside of the heart, the tissue of the, well, not the outside, but the actual tissue of the heart. That's what gets blocked, and then the heart muscle stops working.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, the pastor said the next tutorial is coming through or something.
Okay, cool. We're pretty much done, so it's good timing.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Megan.
Do you have any last questions?
No, I'll just check the tests and quizzes and get back to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we must sort that out for sure.
All right.
Okay. I'm glad we got to chat.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.